Jacobs passed into eternity. From Norwich, he postponed his senior year at Brown University. Wounded on the 14th of June, when he was commanding Company A, his last 3 weeks in a hospital bed were agony until he passed away. Then suddenly it was over. It was July the 8th that day, when Gardner had heard that Vicksburg fell. Hope for reinforcement went away. His men, they too were dying, starving, living like rats in a hole, to escape the deadly cannonballs that took their daily toll. The Union, they did celebrate when the garrison surrendered. At noon 100 cannons in celebration thundered. With the battle over, men were left to wonder who really won. Of course it's true the South surrendered the garrison at Port Hudson, but at a cost of 10,000 men to 1,000, that's 10 to 1. Slaughter's field was ready for the harvest. Seed sown on the 27th of May, the bodies of the native guard, neglected for 47 days. The bodies were dutifully gathered and given the utmost respect. These gallant men from Louisiana, strange fruit to collect. The men from Connecticut were grateful to be alive, and they looked forward to going home if they could just survive. For many were maimed or wounded or sickened by the sun, and many more would die despite the battle being won. On the 26th of July, the regiment boarded a ship that day. The St. Maurice would take them home, losing more men along the way. By August 1st, they headed north. Through Cairo and Chicago they went. Through Illinois, the home state of the president. Through New York State, down to the city. To the harbor they did roam. On to one last boat that would finally take them home. Many did not survive the journey, dying on board or in hospitals along the way. 14 days from Port Hudson to Norwich. 14 more did pass away. August 17th, the men assembled where their journey began at Camp Russell. On that last day of the regiment, they lost 2 more men. Rodman Ellis, he was a private from a farm in Preston. And Edward Manning of Norwich, promoted to lieutenant on his deathbed when given this award. And as the men formed ranks one last time, Lieutenant Manning went to the Lord. They assembled at Camp Russell to formally muster out. The 26 served honorably, of that there is no doubt. The men were paid and returned to their homes glad to be alive, but they soon came to realize war kills those who survive. The years went by, and the men did die in many different ways. Some went on to raise families, some were to resume careers, but all had memories of Port Hudson that would haunt for the rest of their years. Dr. Woodward returned to his home in Franklin on the Hill. He continued his practice of medicine and writing books as well, and when he died in 85 was carved an epitaph with feeling.
He spake unto them of the kingdom of God, and healed them that had need of healing.
Colonel Kingsley survived despite the disfiguring wound to his face, and returned to his home in Franklin and tried to find his place. But his neighbors found him a changed man. Eventually, he lost his mind. He died on the hill in Middletown with others of his kind. He tried to resume a normal life, but the scars of war were too deep. His body was carried to Norwich for his eternal sleep. In the antique cemetery they laid him with full honors and respect. Nearby, many other men who served in the 26th. In 1902, a monument was built in Norwich on Union and Broadway to honor the men of the regiment, those still alive and those passed away. Their loyalty and service was noted by the mayor, though the ceremony was a bit low-key. Perhaps they wanted to forget about Port Hudson After all, it was the 20th century.
You know, we pass by here all the time. I was wondering about that monument. Do you know where Port Hudson is?
I'm not sure. I think it's on the Hudson River in New York.
Silent stands the monuments, erect to remind and warn of battles past, men forever lost, and friends and families torn. Man is still willing to fight and die. Oh, how many lives have been lost in the horror of warfare or the nightmare of having survived. Monuments are stone reminders that men are willing to lay down their lives for a cause they believe in, even to this day.